Are they government agents working undercover in Twitter? The answer might be a yes. In a testimony before the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday, Twitter's former head of security and whistleblower, Peter Zatko, said that Twitter lacks both the resources and motivation to search for and remove foreign intelligence threats within its operations. But before we delve more into this, listen into this exchange at the hearing.
Can you describe the types of efforts you've seen by foreign governments to infiltrate, control, exploit, or surveil Twitter and its users, and share what steps Twitter and regulators should have taken to protect against these attacks?
What I did notice when we did know of a person inside acting on behalf of a foreign interest as an unregistered agent, it was extremely difficult to track the people. There was a lack of logging and an ability to see what they were doing, what information was being accessed, or to contain their activities, let alone set steps for remediation and possible reconstitution of any damage. They simply lacked the fundamental abilities to hunt for foreign intelligence agencies and expel them on their own.
Zatko claimed that he raised concerns that another government's agent was working in a foreign Twitter office and the company did not care enough to act. It's not just Zatko saying this. A week before Zatko was fired in January, the FBI also warned Twitter that the company may have Chinese spies within its ranks. It remains unclear as of now whether Twitter acted on this tip, but Zatko told the Senate committee that he and others inside Twitter were aware of the company being a target for foreign intelligence agencies. Now, there are many reasons why foreign governments would be interested in placing agents inside Twitter. Zatko said all of the company's engineers, which is about half of its 7,000 employees, have access to significant user data. This, combined with Twitter's practice of collecting personal information of its users, could give foreign governments powerful intelligence capabilities. Twitter is officially blocked in China, though many access it via VPNs. So why would the company be interested in courting the Chinese government? The answer is advertisements. Twitter needs to compete for ad business against tech rivals Google and Facebook. And so Twitter quoted local Chinese authorities who are splurging on global ads on the site. China is Twitter's fastest growing overseas market and one of its largest non-US revenue sources. The promotions pitched local Chinese attractions as well as cultural and economic achievements to an international audience. Now, what about China? Why is it interested in Twitter? The answer lies in Beijing's love for surveillance. China is compiling information on its people unlike any other country on earth. The CCP regards information as an important tool of social control. The Chinese government gets valuable insight from the data it collects and uses it not only to crush dissent, but also to understand what people want. Well, according to media reports, Chinese courts have sentenced dozens of people in the past 3 years for using Twitter and other foreign platforms to criticize the authorities in the country. Which brings us back to the Senate hearing, where Zatko added that bad actors with access inside Twitter could potentially exploit the data because the company fails to properly understand and protect the data it collects.
His disclosures also note that the FBI notified Twitter of at least one Chinese agent in the country, a company, I should say. Based on allegations, Twitter also suffers from a lack of data security.
I think that's a very valid concern, sir. And that was a concern that was raised to me by the employees inside Twitter who were disturbed that in a country where the service was not allowed to be used and provide a voice to the public, but that money was being accepted from organizations that may or may not be associated with the Chinese government. And I believe there was a Reuters article just a day or so ago saying that they did identify that there were governments related to China advertising on the platform, possibly in violation of Twitter's own policies.
And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Listen in.
Tuesday ended up being a big day in Twitter sphere with two parallel developments taking place. On the one hand, investors backed Elon Musk's takeover bid as a whistleblower for the social media platform testified in Congress. The social media platform's former head of security was questioned by both Democrats and Republicans regarding data privacy. Peter Zatko, who had accused the company of widespread security failures, said that employer access to user data could, quote, cause real harm. Chuck Grassley, who's the Senate Judiciary Committee's top Republican, said, quote, the whistleblower disclosure paints a very disturbing picture of a company that solely focuses on profit at any expense, including at the expense of safety and security of its users. Meanwhile, Twitter continues to deny these allegations, and on Tuesday, shareholders approved Elon Musk's $44 billion bid to take over the company and take it private. Now, the vote comes as Musk has been trying to back out of the deal, and Peter Zatko has become a main factor in this legal drama between Twitter and Elon Musk, causing Twitter to ultimately sue Musk, saying that it has allegedly or is trying to break an agreement. Ultimately, the case between Musk and Twitter is scheduled to go on trial on October 17th. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.